Good morning from Canada. Welcome to our 45-minute practice together. I'm a little concerned that my internet is not playing fair today, so we're just going to see how we go and hope for the best, as always with technology. I'm Joanna. If we've not met before, thank you for joining. Today is a yin practice for inner peace. So as you can imagine, it's going to be very steady and slow and grounding. I'd love for you to bring some props to your mat if you don't already have them. So you'll see on my mat, I have a blanket and a bolster. And also in the corner here, I have 2 blocks. So if you have those props to hand, bring them to your mat. If you don't, you can makeshift with cushions off the couch, thick books, whatever you have to make your practice more comfortable. I'll meet you on your mat in 1 moment. Okay, so we can begin our practice today either in seated Sukhasana, or if you prefer to begin your practice on your back, feel free to recline and place the soles of your feet to the mat and bend your knees. You could elevate the back of your head with a prop if you would like. You can rest your hands to the mat, or you can rest your hands to your lower belly. Once you've found your opening shape, I invite you to close your eyes. If that's not comfortable for you today, you can simply draw your gaze towards the floor. Start to invite in and receive more of your breath. And perhaps invite some of that breath into your lower belly. And just check in, notice how you're feeling. Is your body trying to tell you anything? How is your mood, your energy levels, your temperature? How is your state of being? And do you feel at ease? Do you feel at peace this morning, wherever you are in the world? Or are you in need of some grounding, some anchoring, some slowness? I wanted to open by teaching from Mother Teresa, and it reads as follows. Lead me from death to life, from falsehood to truth. Lead me from despair to hope, from fear to trust. Lead me from hate to love, from war to peace. Let peace fill our hearts, our world, our universe. Peace, peace, peace. If you feel drawn to, you can repeat the following mantra with me. Om Shanti, Shanti. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. And inhale to begin. Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. We'll begin in our first yin posture of Sukhasana, reclined butterfly, with the option of placing props underneath your body to make it more comfortable, more grounding, or perhaps to bring yourself into a slightly supported back bend. So for this, you would take your bolster or your rolled up blanket and place it along the length of your mat so that your whole spine and the back of your head can rest to it. You might also take a block and place the block underneath the bolster where your head is going to rest. This is for the incline option. If you're not wanting to create this back bend, then please lie yourself down on the floor as you are. You can place a blanket underneath your pelvis for extra support. And then we're slowly going to keep the pelvis to the floor, roll down through the back, and allow the crown of the head to extend behind us. Soles of the feet together, knees wide. This is butterfly pose. You could put blocks under your hips or knees if you like, for extra support here. If this doesn't feel good for your hips or legs to be in butterfly, then you could always extend your legs long and wide in a Shavasana position. Your hands can either rest on your inner thighs, lower belly, hands to floor. Or if it feels comfortable, you could extend your arms wide into a T shape with your palms facing up and the elbows soft. Feel free to close your eyes here, maybe add an eye mask over your eyes if that's comfortable. Feel free to repeat the mantra, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. You can have that mantra on a loop to yourself if it resonates. Or you can simply allow for quiet and stillness, allowing your thoughts to come and go, to drift in and out, not holding on to any one thought in particular. If you're in the reclined back bend, the supported back bend option, you might also involve the shoulders in a little self-massage. See if that feels good to add movement or whether your body would prefer you to be still. If you like the movement, you can begin by gently rolling your shoulders up, back and down, massaging your shoulders against your bolster or blanket beneath you. Or you could rest your hands on your shoulders and make circles with your elbows. Or the final option is to take your arms long and all the way up to the sky and all the way back behind you, and then arms wide and down by your sides. You can repeat these movements as many times as you like, and feel free to pause in any moment during those pathways if that feels good across your shoulders, your chest, your heart space. And let us take 5 more breaths here. If your legs are in butterfly, bring your hands to the outsides of your legs and carefully bring your knees back together. If your legs are in Shavasana, simply bend the knees and place the feet back onto the floor. Now you can choose to either roll to one side or lift yourself up so that you can remove the props that are underneath your back. Of course, if you don't have props, you can just remain as you are on the floor. Returning onto your back and just enjoying that spacious quality across the shoulder blades, along the length of the spine. Invite in a few breaths into the back of your rib cage and lungs. And just notice what that feels like for you. Beautiful. We'll now place feet flat to the floor and just shuffle the feet as wide as the mat. You might just like to sway your knees a little right to left a couple of times, just massaging the lower back, the kidneys, the glutes. Or you might just want to be still, soles of the feet to the floor, knees touching in center, hands to lower belly. This practice is yours. Do what you need to cultivate more grounding, more quiet, more peace within. Spending time on our backs is super grounding, as is spending time on our bellies, because our body is closer in contact with the floor, so that we're feeling that earth stability and grounding. We're connecting more to our root chakra, that place of belonging and home and security. So as you're lying here, I invite you to think about the root chakra at the very, very base of your pelvis. And I also want you to think about the other spaces of your body that are currently in contact with the floor. Now visualize roots, physical roots, growing from those areas of your body down into the floor. They can be red in color, the color of the root chakra. And these red roots are not only growing down into the floor, but they're also growing wide. They're expanding wide, deeper and wider. Notice the pathways of these roots down into the earth. Keep noticing those areas of your body that are growing the roots, that are in contact with the floor. And keep noticing the pathways of these roots down into the earth. Not only are these roots helping you to root down, to ground down, but you're also drawing up nourishment from those roots back up and into your body. That sense of calm and peace from Mother Earth. Feel free to remain with this, continuing on with that mindful meditation, that visualization of roots from the back body down into the earth. Or you can come along for our next shape. We'll move into a side body extension. So extending your arms and legs away from one another on your inhale breath, pointing your toes, stretching your fingers. And on your exhale breath, flex your feet and walk your heels as far over to the right as you can take them. And then do the same with your upper body. Move your arms, your shoulders, your chest more to the right. Perhaps cross your ankles right over left or left over right, wherever you feel the most comfortable bind. And then maybe wrap your right hand around your left wrist just to hold your arms in place. If this feels a lot around your shoulders, bend into the elbows more. And then rest the backs of your hands on the floor. If they don't quite reach the floor, then you can always slide a prop under those hands. And here we're experiencing a side body stretch into the left side of our body. Feel free to add a blanket over you if that feels more comfortable. You can continue with that visualization of roots growing down from your body in this shape. You can also explore the expanse and spaciousness into the left side of your body with every inhale and exhale breath. Or you might just simply be still and quiet, Not focusing on anything in particular, just being. 5 more breaths here. And then begin to uncross your ankles and wrists. Walk your heels back to center first, followed by your upper body. And then lower your arms down by your sides, palms facing up. And simply allow for breath. Allow for little adjustments so you feel centered and neutral. And then allow for stillness as your body releases and receives simultaneously. Let us now come into a single knee twist, guiding the left knee in towards the chest, and then taking the left knee up and over to the right. You can lower the left knee onto a bolster or onto a block. You can keep your hands resting on your body if that feels good. Or you can open your arms wide across the floor, palms facing up. You can be looking up to the sky, or you can turn your head and look to the left. Be mindful that your left leg is completely relaxed. So if you notice that your left leg is hovering in space, it's not resting to the floor or resting into a prop, that means you're having to work extra hard to hold this shape. So add more props under the left leg as you need. Maybe a prop under the left shoulder if you need. And let your body surrender and settle into this twist. Once you're in the twist, check that breath can travel freely up and down the length of your spine. If it can't, then maybe your twist is just a little too deep today. If that's the case, you can just back off slightly, maybe bring your hands closer or keep looking to the sky or add more props underneath you. If this ever feels too much, you can always return to a more neutral position, a Shavasana-like shape. Let us take 5 more breaths here. If you're in the twist, start to engage your core and slowly bring yourself onto your back. Lower your legs down the mat, your arms wide, and exhale your breath. If it feels nicer here to bend the knees and have your feet to the floor again, do that. Soften around the muscles of your face, around your jaw, your tongue, your throat. And now we'll move into the second side of our side body stretch, Banana Asana. So extending your arms away from your legs, pointing your toes, stretching your fingers. Inhale. Exhale, flex your feet, walk your heels as far to the left as you'd like, as is comfortable. Lift your head, shoulders and arms to the left so your body is in this banana shape. And then maybe cross your ankles right over left or left over right, whatever feels most comfortable. And then maybe left hand around the right wrist, soft bend through your elbows, backs of the hands touching the floor or resting on a prop. Eyes closed, maybe a blanket over you for warmth or just for that grounding weight across your torso. And check in, make sure you can feel the stretch in the right side of your body. If you can't at any time or you want to take it a bit further, then you can just simply walk the hands and heels more to the left, deepening the C shape through your body. Once again, as a reminder, maybe you are visualizing the roots growing from your physical body into the earth and acknowledging that relationship between your body and the earth. Perhaps you're in the mantra Om Shanti, Shanti Om. Or perhaps you're in stillness and quiet, thoughts coming and going, but not attaching to anyone in particular. more breaths. Release any binds of your ankles or wrists. Carefully walk your heels back to center first, followed by your upper body, and then slowly lower your arms down by your sides. Exhale your breath. And be in this place of sweet release and quiet and settling. Moving into the second side of our single knee twist. So take any props you might need to the left side of your mat. Bend your right knee into your chest and cross your right knee over to the left. Landing your knee either onto the floor or onto your props. Maybe your arms stay close, maybe your arms expand wide. Maybe you look up, maybe you look to the right to see how it feels in your own body. If the twist does not feel good today, you can always return to a more neutral position for your back, no problem. If the twist feels good, then invite your breath to travel down that spiral, right from the back of your nose and throat, all the way down the length of your spine to your tailbone, and all the way back up. Five more breaths. Engage your core and slowly bring the right knee back towards your chest. And then lower the right leg down the length of the mat, or have both feet to the mat, knees bent. Breathe wide into the back of your body once again. Now, with the knees bent, feet flat to the mat, you have the option to place a prop underneath your pelvis. So you can choose a low block or a folded blanket, or you could choose a higher prop like a thicker bolster, depending on what feels good for your hips or back. Once you picked your prop, press down into your feet. Lift the pelvis, slide your chosen prop underneath the sacrum, that's the big triangular bone at the base of the spine, and then settle the pelvis back down. And just notice how that feels for you. If it doesn't feel good, you can always remove the prop, no problem. This is a supported bridge pose. Feel free to remain like this, or with your hands to the earth, bend the knees into the chest and float the two legs towards the sky for Viparita Karani, also known as legs up or legs up the wall. We often do this shape with our heels against a wall. Your middle back and the back of your pelvis sinking more towards the floor. Your legs are floating above you. Maybe you're wiggling your toes, rolling your ankles, softening through your knees. Maybe your arms are floating up, rolling your wrists, wiggling your fingers. And then see if you can find stillness, the shoulder blades heavy, the elbows soft, the wrists limp. Maybe a nice big exhale breath. This is such a wonderfully soothing pose for your nervous system. You're sending deoxygenated blood back towards your heart. You're decompressing these joints that work so hard for us. Feel free to keep this moving if it feels better, or stay still. And if at any time you want to bring the feet back to the floor, that's also available. I'll add on one last piece here for those who like it. It's a deeper release for the hip flexors. So hugging your left knee into your chest, wrap your hands around your left shin or left hamstring. Flex your right foot in the sky. And then with the core engaged, start to lower that right heel forwards and down towards the floor. If you need to bend the right knee a bit more to access the right heel to the floor, do so. If it feels too much, you can always come back to where you were, or you could always remove the prop from under your pelvis. Just taking 5 full cycles of breath like this. After your 5 breaths, engage your core and float that right leg back to the sky. You can swap your legs over with the left leg extending up, the right knee bending into the chest, hands around shin or hamstring, left foot flexing and lowering down towards the floor. Your core gently engaged as you do this. Left heel lowering all the way to the mat, maybe with the left knee more bent, or the left leg completely straight, pushing away with the sole of that left foot, right knee in. Five more breaths. Engage your core and float that left leg and the right leg back to the sky. maybe with your arms too. Roll your wrists, wiggle your fingers, soften the shoulder blades, and fully exhale. As you're ready, you can lower your arms and bend your knees, lower your feet. Press down into your feet to lift your pelvis and slide your prop away so your pelvis comes back to the earth. And then I'm just sliding the bolster down the mat a little bit so that the backs of the knees can rest to it, preparing the body for Shavasana, putting those extra layers on. Maybe adding an eye pillow or a blanket to the body. Letting the legs get wide, the arms get wide, the palms facing up. Here is your shape of ultimate rest, ultimate relaxation, an opportunity to continue to draw in towards your bliss state, your inner peace, your calm. I will call you from Shavasana when it's time. Until then, no more to do. If you have longer to dedicate to your Shavasana practice today, then please stay as you are. If, however, it's time for you to come out, you can start to deepen your breath. Start to move your fingers and toes. Roll the wrists and ankles. Take a full body stretch as you inhale. As you exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. And rock gently on your back, side to side, until you're ready to roll onto your side. And then ease your way up to a tall seat of Sukhasana. Rooting down through your pelvis, extending tall through the crown of your head, maybe hands to your body or in Anjali Mudra at the center of your chest. Heels of the hands together, fingertips touching, little gap between the hands as if there's a nesting bird there. And then the thumbs towards the sternum, a symbol of offering and devotion to yourself, to your practice, to this time on your mat. May we be reminded of the words by Mother Teresa, Lead me from death to life, from falsehood to truth. Lead me from despair to hope, from fear to trust. Lead me from hate to love, from war to peace. Let peace fill our hearts, our world, our universe. Peace, peace, peace. Move your hands as they are at the center of your chest, your head bowed in. Recognize how you are in this moment. And if it feels good for you to do so, feel free to come along for the mantra one more time. Om Shanti Shanti Om. Inhale to begin. Om Shanti Shanti Om. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing your time with me and each other. May inner peace radiate from you for the rest of your day. May it touch others. May it touch our global collective. It's my pleasure to guide you. Namaste. Thank you so much. Reach out with any questions, any requests for future classes. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Sending peace.